Weird. It's a Barca fit. Barca fit. Barca fit. Oh, thank God. We out here.
Wait, so should I send the passcode in the chat or
Yeah, let's do that.
okay.
Oh, Jesus.
Time Samoa.
I'm Nat.
What's good?
Apologies for the tardiness. Zoom's been acting up all day. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, there was an issue with it at work. They sent out like a whole message that don't use Zoom, use like Google Meet or like Teams or something.
Yeah, it's not cute. Not cute. Not happy about this.
So what happens, man? We start relying on something, and bam, just turns their back on us.
That's what I'm saying. I already have trust issues, you know?
Not the Drake in you.
I already have trust issues, you know? Oh man. What's going on, Carlene? How we doing today? Apologies for the tardiness. Appreciate your patience.
Doing good. It was kind of hard getting in with the password.
Yeah, I know. There's been Zoom hiccups all day today. I don't know what's going on. Nat just told us that there was a little Zoom situation going on all day.
Oh, that's interesting. I just got off another Zoom.
Yeah. Just give it like 2 more minutes. Let's see. Boom. There you go. Oh, this is Chelsea, guys. Today Chelsea is going to be supporting us. Fitness after kids. All right, Chelsea, you're only going to be here if you behave. Chill out. Let me vibe. Boom. Got it. Cool. Shirley, are we good to go?
Yes, we're good.
All right. All right, guys. So, as always, we got to start the call with some wins. Nat, since you were first come first serve, let's serve. Let me hear a win, girl.
Let's see. Back into working out this week. Last week was a struggle, not gonna lie.
A struggle. Why?
Just, work. I was working to about midnight every day, and then it was that womanly time of the month, so
Mm,
it was not a great combination. But definitely regret at least not doing something. Because I found that I'm in a better mood when I do work out.
okay.
But coming back strong this week. Been getting a lift session in and then a 30-minute walk in the afternoon. So that's my win for the week.
Got it. Don't tell me that you started catching it with Ray. Don't tell me you ended up going to the dog pound.
Nah, nah, nah. Never that. Never that. And we see you Sunday, so I gotta prep myself mentally for what Sunday will bring.
Oh yeah, we on a streak. We're on a
Yeah, we
streak
on some good stuff.
of real workouts, real life-changing workouts, right?
Yes, sir.
Mm, I love it. I love it. Carlene, how about you? Give me a win. Something you're proud about this week.
Um, I haven't worked out this week, but I'll say a win is that today's the last day of the fast and I have a lot of energy. Um, and I've lost inches in weight.
Ooh, inches and weight.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. How many inches, how many pounds in weight?
So 11 pounds.
Okay.
And um with the inches, I've lost like 2 inches in my waist. I think maybe 1 inch in the hips. I can't remember how many inches in the arms, but I did lose, it seems a little everywhere in the neck from January to now. I was very surprised. I think I was at 13 and it went down to 11. I have to look again. I don't have the numbers in front of me.
I love that. Carlene, can you, for everybody that's on the chat, especially Nat, can you explain into detail why you've been fasting and what the benefits you've been seeing in the last 2 weeks based on what your doctor told you, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. Like I have been fasting for the purpose of resetting my body, not
Mm.
really for detox or starving myself. It's not restricting. It's pretty much getting rid of like eliminating everything. It's like an elimination diet, eliminating everything and starting from scratch and figuring out like what my reactions are to things. So the first thing I did was eliminate like carbs and grains, like not all carbs because vegetables are carbs. So processed carbs. I got
Mm.
it, and started like eating fresher carbs like sweet potato and not having white potato and replacing all of the processed carbs with vegetables, sweet potato, yuca, plantain, all those different things. Um, and then I tested it out and had maybe like 1 or 2 bites of a processed carb and literally felt like I was going to pass out. So it was very clear that I can't have that. I can't have gluten. And the next thing I did was eliminate sugar. And I spent like 2 or 3 days with having no added sugar in anything. And then I had a piece of chocolate with sugar and I had the same effect, felt like passing out and did not have a lot of energy. And one of the things I learned is that if I am out there in the world and I have something like sugar or carbs, which can bring my energy down and raise my blood sugar, if I have protein, that fixes it. So, like after I had that piece of chocolate, I had a burger and my energy came back.
Ooh.
Hmm. So, yeah, I eliminated sugar. added sugar, processed carbs, and also grains, which is not something that happens to everyone. I can't seem to process grains in my body. So, like things like oats and barley and stuff like that, I can't have. So, and the way I tested that out is I love granola. I had granola, like, and I said, let me just try oat granola. And that took me out with my energy. And then I realized, okay, I have to have grain free stuff. And so now, and then once I did that, that was the first few days, then I just continued eating everything without all of those things. And I started to notice my energy go up.
Mm.
And I didn't even have to have coffee most days. Like at this point, I feel like I'll have coffee if I want to, but not because I need it.
Got it.
Yeah.
So then, just out of curiosity, would you get decaf or would you get regular coffee?
I can get regular coffee if I
Okay.
want to. The thing with the coffee, the other piece I forgot is dairy. I knew I could not have dairy. Um, but what was happening was I was having those processed creamers instead of having like regular like almond milk or coconut milk or oat milk. I was having these processed creamers that had sugar in it, added sugar, and had all these preservatives. And I noticed when I used that one day in my coffee that it did not work for my body. It was not a good reaction. Um, it affected my digestion and my stomach.
Yeah, go into that a little bit more. Like how specifically? How did you feel?
So, let's just say that it did not stay in my stomach.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
And then
many people suffer from that, Carlene.
yeah, yeah. And like one of the things I realized is when I decided to just dump the artificial creamer and just use like regular coconut milk or oat milk, like you could use the thickest milk
Yeah.
so that it could feel like in there. I use that instead and some sugar. Not sugar,
Mm,
real sugar, like stevia.
got it.
And when I used that, I noticed it didn't have that effect on me anymore.
Oh, I like that.
Hmm.
I like that.
And it's like really learning about the combination of fat and sugar together.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's some sauce.
Hmm.
I really like that. Okay, cool. Shirley, how about you? Why don't you share a win with us this week?
Um, just trying to get better sleep and eating better, to be honest. Just that.
Wait, that's what you're gonna do, or
No,
that's what you've
that's what
done?
I've been doing this week. Just getting more sleep and trying to eat better.
Got it. Okay. Cool. Cool. How many hours are you sleeping now?
Definitely not 8, not yet.
Mm.
Yeah. No, I was like sleeping like 4 or 5. Now maybe 4, 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Okay, that's not bad. Not bad at all. All right. So today's topic. Let's okay. So today's topic is reclaiming your body and mind after a baby. So, oh, hey, Wanda, what's going on? Wanda, how come you're not on the Zoom? You're on Instagram. Come on the Zoom. Shirley, you want to like message her? Maybe she can come in.
I got it.
Um, yeah, so reclaiming your body and mind after a baby. Obviously, it's a very strenuous time for a woman during a pregnancy, especially after, because hormones are all over the place, and hormones, believe it or not, are still all over the place postpartum. So be honest, what's been harder, labor or finding the time for yourself since becoming a parent? No problem, Wanda. Um, Natalia, we don't have any kids yet. But Carlene, how about you? Being a super mom, 'cause you always share stories about you and the kids.
Well, it's been a really long time, my birth stories, because my kids are a lot older now.
Yeah,
Um, like, can you repeat the question? Because I'm like thinking to
of
myself,
course.
I don't even remember.
What's been harder during postpartum during that time? Labor or finding the time for yourself since becoming a parent?
Um, from what I can remember, it was more finding time for myself.
Mm,
The labor part and getting the baby out, that is as painful or as difficult that it may be, it's like it's a small part of the whole thing. Because when you can't find the time for yourself and create that self-care, it doesn't make the time easier with your children, and you want to enjoy that time with your children. So yeah, finding the time for myself was not very easy. My kids were very attached and came everywhere with me. Um, and I don't regret it. They went everywhere with me. We built a great relationship. And then I found ways for my own self within the time that they were with me. And
mm,
we had fun together.
I love that. I love that. Thank you for answering that. Thank you for being transparent. Wanda, welcome, Wanda. I have visited. No problem, Wanda. No problem. Why don't you type up a win? Type up a win. Give me a win for this week. I know there's been some stuff, Wanda, but there needs to be something positive this week that you can share. Type it up, and then Shirley could let me know what she says. Just feel free to interrupt Shirley. Okay. How, Carlene, how did you carve out time back then when you were in that situation? Were you able to? Were you not able to?
Um, it wasn't large pockets of times, it was small times. Like if I had a few minutes to go to the supermarket by myself, I would get in the car and drive to the supermarket and maybe take the longer way and listen to my favorite music and maybe sit in the car, or if it was warm outside, I would stop somewhere by a park and just sit there for like 5 minutes and then get back in the car. I would do just little things like that, and or pick up my favorite shake or drink and just savor it by myself and just sit there and relax. And so I found small pieces of time there, and then there was play dates where I got play dates for my kids. And so that gave me some time to spend time with adults and speak to them and,
Yeah.
have fun.
Yeah, I hear that.
Mhm.
I hear that. Wanda says, I worked out in DR walking and some lunges and squats. Love that. No days off, Wanda. I love that. I love that. So, based on my experience of training women for now nearly 14 years, most women after having a baby have certain feelings. And to be vulnerable right now, I'm not going to say any names, but um there's there's always been women, a good percentage of them, who've felt guilty for wanting to feel sexy again after a baby. They felt guilty for wanting to feel sexy again after a baby. And I'm here to tell you, because I've trained and transformed hundreds of women, that that is normal and that is something that is common after having a baby. Out of curiosity, Carlene, just real quick, it could be a simple yes or no. Did you ever feel that way?
Um, Probably for one day after the second child.
Yeah, yeah, and it's normal, guys. The one thing that helped my clients in the past and that can help you in the future, anyone who's watching on Instagram, TikTok, on YouTube right now as well, is asking yourself a question. What's stopping you from showing up for your body right now? What's stopping you from showing up for your body right now? Dhruva, what's going on? Christy, what's up? Damn. A lot of love on TikTok and Instagram. Love it. So that is a question that most moms have postpartum when they don't feel their best self. What's stopping you from showing up for your body right now? And some of the answers are, it's either time, it's motivation, it's a lack of support. Maybe you're a single mom. Maybe your family is just a bit conservative or traditional, and they just think of you as a stay-at-home mom, and maybe you can't put yourself first, or they think you can't put yourself first. Or maybe it's something deeper. Once you ask yourself this question, and again, who is this? Who is this speaking? Like, why is he talking about that? I've trained hundreds of women postpartum in a career of 13 years. And I've had moms literally cry to me on our training sessions, whether it's the first session, even if it was our first call before we even start training, and they open up and they tell me this. And I ask them, what's stopping you from showing up for your body right now? And they tell me sometimes it's time. I don't have time. I have a newborn. No one could babysit. Sometimes it's motivation. I just can't find the energy. And at that point, it's because of hormones. And you're stuck in a hamster wheel. You lack energy because you're either eating bad or eating wrong postpartum, or you're just sedentary at home, which is understandable. You're taking care of a baby, and you spend a lot of energy trying to deliver, right? So maybe a lack of support. Maybe you have a husband or a boyfriend or someone there. Maybe you don't. Maybe you have a family that's supportive. Maybe you don't. You lack it. They say focus on the baby. Your time is up. But let me tell you one thing, ladies. Let me tell you one thing, moms. When you are a mom and you start believing this, it's complete bullshit. Because guess what? You're a mother. You're in your 30s, maybe you're in your 20s, maybe you're in your 40s. And if you step back and think about it, you are going to be alive for another 50 to 60 years. What the hell do they mean your life's over? You just had a baby. Trust me, I've had clients like this. literally tell me, yeah, my husband, my family, they're not supportive because my life is the baby now. And yes, that may be true, but it's not is your life. It's part of your life. That doesn't mean you're dead. You're gonna be alive for another 50, 60 years. Hope says, "Let me hear it all." Love you, Hope. Yeah. You're gonna be alive for another 50, 60 years. And then guess what? He or she, your baby, is going to turn 18, and then what? What's going to be fair? That you're going to be 30 pounds heavier, 40 pounds heavier because you let yourself go and you listen to the unsupportive husband or unsupportive boyfriend, unsupportive family? Fuck that. You're better than that. So that's where the transformation begins, ladies and moms. That's where the transformation begins. So, a strategy after having a baby, a strategy after having a baby and discovering how you can focus on yourself to be the best version of yourself, to be the best version of a mother, best version of a wife, best version of a sister, of a daughter, etc. You want to think about this. Start where you are, not where you were. Start where you are, not where you were. Do not compare yourself to 10 months prior of the pregnancy or whenever before you were pregnant. Do not compare, do not make the mistake. Your body just went through a whole transformation of having a baby. I've had women in a career of 13 years completely do a specific type of training program and meal plan prior to having a baby and doing the same one after, and it completely does not work. You're a whole different person after that. Your body's a whole different person. Biology hits, your hormones are different, your body's different, your digestive system is different, your circulatory system is different, your mindset is different. So you want to start where you are currently. Give your body grace and space to rebuild. This whole concept is to rebuild your body. So incorporating, you don't have to go back to your 2-hour workouts at the gym, to your, to your I was trying to come up with a funny phrase just to break the ice right now. Some serious sauce. Your boss babe workouts that are 3 hours long at the gym, right? It could be as little as 10 minutes. As little as 10 minutes. Carlene, I think there was a period where we started training online and I even gave you 20-minute workouts, right?
Yes, we were doing 20-minute workouts.
Yeah, it's where you are. It's where you are, not what you used to do. Do not compare yourself. If you're a mom out there, what's up, Josie? If you're a mom out there, do not compare yourself to what your body was capable of doing because your body is a complete different body after having kids. Complete different. So if you need to incorporate 10-minute bursts throughout the day, that's fine. Because of time, because of stress, because of motivation, it's the whole step is to start. Some of the exercises or focuses that you can implement is core workouts. What is your core? Natalia, what is your core? Pop quiz.
Core? Oh man, you're hitting me right now. Um, your stomach muscles
Okay.
that are an important part of your daily movement.
Okay. Carlene, what is your core?
I guess it's the center of your body that supports you. So
Center
you
of the
want to,
body. I like that.
yeah.
Shirley, what is your core? You used to be a client of mine.
I was going to say midsection and the like what connects everything else.
Okay. I like that. So is the trunk of the body. Center is close. Something that connects to everything is close. The trunk of the body, front and back. It's not just your abs. It is not just your abs. Your core is the front and back of your body. So it incorporates your chest. It's your midsection, is your abdominals, is your lower back, is your upper back, is the trunk of the body. So core exercises for postpartum women is the best thing you can do. What's included into your core is another one, a very trendy word, the pelvic floor. Anything that's between your shoulder complex and your pelvis, your hip complex, shoulder to hip, that's your core. So improving your pelvic floor is essential. Why? Because they're in most times they're nearly destroyed after having a baby. Obviously in a positive way. We could go into details of whether it's natural or a C-section, but regardless, even if it's a C-section, you're getting opened up. Your recovery is even longer. I've had clients we've had to literally I've had to literally baby her for an extra 2 months if you're doing a C-section because the recovery is longer. There's just extra layers that this doctor is literally just like slicing open. Not to be too graphic. But pelvic floor core exercises, that's something special attention that you need to really focus on after birth. Any questions so far? Instagram, TikTok, Zoom, YouTube. Any questions so far?
How, I guess like as a significant other to to like the woman that is giving birth, what can you do to support them to get back into the swing of things?
Ooh, that's a good one. Number one, you can join them in their journey of reclaiming their body. You can join them in their journey of reclaiming their body because they're gonna feel lonely. They're gonna feel like they're not understood. You can also support them psychologically. You can say, hey, you got this. Listen, you were working out, especially in your case, Nat, you were working out prior. Let's get back into it because you're a whole different person now. You're a whole different mom. You gotta be a role model for this baby. Another thing that you can do is hire support. You know, if you're the breadwinner or someone needs to work and and the other person needs to regain their body, sometimes you're not gonna have time to join them physically. So obviously supporting them psychologically is great, but they're gonna need a push. They're a whole different person that. So if this person is going to be at the gym with a whole new body in which they don't even know their body after having a baby. They can't they don't even recognize their body. They're like, "Holy shit, I used to be able to do this, now I can't. Holy shit, I was able to squat this, now I can't." The best thing that they can do is hire support, hire a professional that can meet them where they're at. that make sense?
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Functional movements then. You want to think squats, you want to think lunges, you want to think push-ups, you want to think planks, you want to think chest press, you want to functional movements, functional exercises are basically exercises that incorporate multiple muscle groups. For example, bicep curls, that's not a functional exercise. Bicep curls are not a functional exercise because it only isolates one muscle group. Machines isolate one muscle group. Most machines. So think squats, think lunges, think rows, think push-ups. Another thing that I'm actually learning at the moment right now, since I have a baby on the way, is including the baby. Wanda, go ahead. Type the question in, girl. Oh, what's up, brother?
Yeah, I got it. Which one is better, the gym workout or calisthenics?
Ooh, that's a good question. Specifically in this case for a mom after birth, I would specifically say the gym. Bec- uh, they're both beneficial, but if I had to choose, every woman, every mom postpartum is completely different. Let me explain. So, if you have no idea what you can and can't do after you have a baby, you're extremely limited on specific exercises at home. So, let's say if your goal is to work out X amount of times a week, what if you're too sore in your legs? That takes away squats, that takes away lunges. And most of the time, a mother's core is not as strong as it used to be. So you can't really do push-ups, you can't really do planks where you're gonna do planks for 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Can't really do that. So in that case, again, I'm choosing two really good scenarios where obviously at home is better than not doing anything at all. But at the gym, you at least have some options. You at least have some options doing exercises where it incorporates multiple muscle groups. Or even getting some steps in, go on a treadmill, go on elliptical, go on a Stairmaster. You know? Carlene, go ahead. You have a question? Or did you raise your hand by mistake?
Not a question, just a statement. One of the things that I learned both times, it's really important to pay attention to your diastasis recti.
Oh yeah.
Yes, because when you get pregnant, that gets separated and there's a space in the middle.
Yes.
And really paying attention to that and doing sit ups a certain way slowly in order for that to close up. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to give that time and not be really intense with the sit ups until that closes.
Absolutely.
So maybe you could share like what you do with people to, you know, get through that stage.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good point, Carlene. That actually blew over my head. Um, because I'm not in gym trainer mode. But absolutely. So diastasis recti, I pronounce it like that. There's two different ways to pronounce it. Is a separation of your abdominals. And of course, your abdominals end up separating because, your tummy ends up expanding, right? Now, the worst thing you can do as a mom, the worst thing you could do as a mom postpartum is do any crunch or sit-ups after a baby because your midsection, your core has not healed completely, and your abdominals hasn't come back completely and recovered. So usually 9 times out of 10, moms or women, they end up jumping into getting excited and jumping into sit-ups, jumping into crunches. And what happens is there's some type of hernia or lapse where there's some mass that comes out of your midsection, and this is nearly irreversible without surgery. That's the worst thing you could do. Let's see if I can like share my screen, at least for my Zoom. Sorry, Instagram. Sorry, TikTok. Diastases recti. I'm sure some of your moms, or at least some of you guys, have seen something like this. Let's see if I can share. Share screen. No. Boom. Oh. So it looks like this. I don't know if you guys can see it. Maybe give me a thumbs up or just say yes.
Yes.
Dope. So it literally looks like this. This is the extreme. And this is serious. This happens. This is so common, ladies. This is so common, moms. This is what happens, and that this kind of like plays on to your question. If someone does not know what to do, what not to do, the best thing you can do is hire a professional, because the last thing you want is someone healthily trying to get back to how they were before. This happens, and then they have, and this is common. They need or want someone to blame, and it's not going to be themselves. And you're going to be on a shitty end of the stick. So this is literally how it looks. Right here, this is very I would say this is minor. A protrusion is like that's the worst when it really sticks out. Yeah. Have any one of you ladies have seen this before? Wanda, Carlene, Shirley, Nat?
Oh no.
No? Very, very common.
I've seen it before,
Yeah.
with my yoga students. I've
Yep.
seen it. I do have a question though. Like, is it always affected in the lower part of the abdomen, or can it affect the top part of the abdomen as well?
Well, if we, let's say, for example, if we see here, there's quadrants in the abdominal area. So it can happen from the top or from the bottom. However, I would say it's mostly common in here where the belly button is, because that's where most of the expansion happens. And that is where the most vulnerable area is because of the baby, because of the pregnancy, if that makes sense. Like the biggest or widest or the biggest circumference that expands the most is around your belly button when you're pregnant, right? Obviously. So that's the most vulnerable. So when there is a lack of exercises or a lack of knowledge of exercise and you're doing sit-ups and crunches, this ends up separating the most because it's the most vulnerable. Does that make sense? Did I answer your question, Carlene?
Yes, just took some time to unmute.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, guys. So one thing that you guys can do, let's see if there's any questions here. How you diagnose? Oh, wow, I've seen it. Yeah. How you diagnose? I mean, if you see a separation in your midsection, if you feel the separation in midsection and there's a protrusion, when something called a protrusion is when like there's something sticking out or there's a mass sticking out, that means you have it. You could always go to the doctor and ask for a diagnosis, but that's 9 times out of 10 what it is. Okay, or it could just be a hernia. Men could have it too. It's not because they're pregnant, but it could be a hernia. Very similar to a hernia. Good question, Wanda. Okay, so what if you have no time? What if you have all the support in the world? What if you cannot hire a personal trainer for some reason? What if you're extremely knowledgeable in working out? What if you have the accountability? You can always include the baby in workouts when possible, like baby bearing workouts. For example, if no one here is excessively obese, but if there's someone who is over 400 pounds on Instagram or TikTok, something as simple as stroller walks can make a difference. You're doing something. When you're doing tummy time with a baby, and tummy time is when you're trying to strengthen the posterior or the posterior part of the baby so that they can be um uh flexible and efficient moving around, right? To crawl and to eventually walk. You could do tummy time with the baby, right? When you have the matting set up for the baby and you're having tummy time with the baby, you could spend time with the baby. Throw in some push-ups in there, throw in some I was gonna say sit-ups. Not what you want to do. You could throw in some planks. Some exercises, this just reminds me, some exercises that you can do is isometric exercises. What does isometric mean? Isometric means you're working a specific muscle, but the muscle is not in movement. Meaning, let's say I raise my arm like this, and there's someone is trying to pull my arm back, and I'm resisting the pulling from someone. My arm is not moving, but there's resistance on my arm. You feel resistance on your arm. That is isometric. Another basic isometric exercise is when you're doing a plank. Think about a plank, ladies. When you do a plank, nothing is moving. However, you feel a burn in your midsection. Why? Because your midsection is contracted, right? If your midsection is contracted, that means it's working. If it's working, that means it's isometric because it's not moving. I hope that makes sense. Another example, if you're doing a bicep curl, for anyone who's going to watch the replays and they can't relate because they don't do planks, bicep curls. Let's say you hold the bicep curl here at 90 degrees for maybe 15 seconds. That is isometric. You're holding the weight in your arms for a long period of time, but you're not moving the arm up and down, right? You're holding it. That's isometric. So doing isometric exercises for your midsection is the best thing you could do for your core, instead of crunches and sit-ups. Cool. All right, guys, this has been fun. Any last questions, ladies? Moms, TikTok, Instagram. We have moms out here. No one. Wanda, we're good. Carlene, we're good. Natalia, we're good. Shirley, we're good. What's your major takeaways here? Did you guys learn anything? Give me a takeaway. One takeaway. Nat, you unmuted. Let's go. Give me a takeaway. Something that you didn't know.
That hernia stuff, that shit's crazy.
Oh yeah.
The good thing I got you for after Leo's pregnancy.
Yeah, that's some serious shit. And it's tough for the person who is not bearing the child because all the blame is gonna be on us if they're not kept safe, right? So that's something. Carlene, what about you? Any takeaways here?
Just a reminder to fill your cup at all times before you fill someone else's cup, especially your children.
I
You
like
can't
that.
serve from an empty cup.
Ooh, some sauce. Nice, Carlene. You can't serve from an. I might steal that. Usually, I always say that it's same metaphor but in different wording. I'm always saying if you're drowning, you can't. If you're drowning, you can't help someone else who's drowning. You gotta save yourself first. But that's a little bit more less graphic. I might steal that. Wanda, what about you? Any takeaways you could type or you can answer? Hmm. Hmm. Same thing. The hernia is something serious. Yep, definitely. Shirley, what about you, girl? Talk to me. Takeaways.
No, that was me. I was saying that the hernia is that's very serious that we have to take care of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be with.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. All right, ladies. Well, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. I love you all. I'll see you guys in community. Don't forget that we have the challenge that's live. The chat has been crazy today. Keep it up. The point system's there. Shirley's in the back end adding the extra bonus points as well. So make sure that you guys are focusing on the challenge. Make sure you guys are showing up. Remember that the prize is a spa experience. You're going to go to a spa. Paid for. I know you ladies like that. All right, ladies. See you guys in there. Have a good night.
Have a good night, Brian. Thank you.